I'm tired, you guys. I'm not even going to be on here that long, but it was just much easier for me to just go live than to even try to make a video, edit a video, wait for a video to upload. Too much work. Too much work. Too much work right now. Too much work, you guys. Too much work. And this is also another reason why I'm always saying stay subscribed, hit the bell so that you are notified when I randomly and sporadically, periodically go live on a channel. Yeah, but yeah, there's definitely an overuse of this term. There's definitely an overuse of this term, and this is coming from someone who is one of the originators that even helped put this term on. There's an overuse of it, you guys, and people they're not getting it. And I was like, why aren't people getting it? Okay, let's psychologically think about why people are overusing this term. But the first thing I want to say is just because somebody treated you bad, it does not mean they're a narcissist. You know, everybody that is an asshole, you know, everybody that's a cheater, it does not necessarily make this person a narcissist. And that's just a fact. You know, they could still be a cheater, they could still be an abuser, they could still be an asshole, they could be a whole lot of shit and not be a narcissist. Like, it's just annoying. Like, for a split second, I was like, can we just retire that term? But we can't because they do exist. They do exist. I ain't gonna lie. There are actually narcissists out there. But there are more assholes than there are narcissists. You know? And I have to tell my phone constantly, like, don't suggest this shit to me. Like, in my waking life, I'm not up, like, listening to narcissistic, videos, all the time. That's just not something that I'm doing. That's not something that I'm doing or that I wish to do. It's just not. And honestly, I really don't want that to become a handicap to anyone in the community, because it's easy to go run to a coach and say, yeah, I believe I've encountered this narcissist and they did X, Y, and Z. To me, they're the big bad wolf. And and people come for validation. A lot of times when people are going into counseling, their ego wants validation. Yeah, that's a lot of times what's going on here. And some people say, hey, no, I go to counseling, I go to therapy because I want to do the work. I really want to get clarity. I really want to know the truth of the matter. But most people are operating out of their ego. They just want the validation. They go and they come to these life coaches and they go to these channels, and it's like, the narcissist is wrong. It's all their fault. But guess what? If you really are in that dynamic with a narcissist, if you really are truly experiencing narcissistic abuse, you're the problem too. You're the problem too. And I don't feel like people in the community are giving people enough tough love with that. Like, I just, which triggered me to come on this live. I just listened to like 2 minutes of a life coach talking about narcissistic abuse. And they kept referencing their own situation, using themselves as an example, and how they stayed with this person for all this time. This person was able to disrespect them not once, not twice, not months, but for years. I'm like, buddy, the way that they're flipping this to their audience is it's all the narcissist's fault. No, no, it takes two to tango. And that's the tough love that is not being given out in this community. That's the tough love. Like, this stuff is just sick. It is. It's really sick, you guys. Like, I've encountered all types of stuff. You think I don't know that probably there were some people who were narcissistic, possibly narcissists, or generally they were the problems in the relationship, they come to me, tell me a one-sided story so that they can get their ego stroked, or that so that they can continue to project onto other people. I know this has probably happened even in my own dealings in the community. Or you don't know, in case you don't know, there are toxic, very toxic people who have narcissistic tendencies or possibly narcissists. They come to the narcissistic abuse community to play victim, to abuse the non-narcissistic person. There are narcissists that are calling the actual non-narcissist a narcissist. Like they're just oblivious, and if they aren't oblivious, they're being what's a good word for it than being slick and sneaky, um calculative, you know. Let me run and play victim just in case they do it. I'll go do it first. I'll tell everybody they're the narcissist. I'll go get a gang of people to verify and fluff up my ego, you know. And if they say it, that must mean it's true, right? Now I'm free and clear. Now that person's the problem. Like it goes deep. It really does. So many ways that this plays out, but there really is an overuse of this term. There really is. And then when it is used, I do feel like it's coddling a lot of survivors, and that's why they're not getting to thrive. You know, we don't want to hold on to what I would call a victim mentality. We don't want to give too much power to that narcissist, you know, making it all about what they did. Because, like I said, it does take two, you guys. But it's very sick. It's very sick. And instead of owning up to what you have power and control over, you know, which this person in the video really wasn't doing that. You know, the video was really just about focusing on the wrongs of the narcissist. And that's fine. If that was a narcissist, minimally it was a toxic person, if you're telling the truth, if you're, you know, really being real about what went on in that situation, right? Mm-mm-mm. And the person wanted sympathy because they endured. They chose to sit and stay in a situation and endure a situation that wasn't serving them, endure a situation that was abusing them. Well, you want people to feel pity for you over that? It's not necessarily for me. It's not a pity that I'm going to give somebody over that per se. But what I will say is, well, let's just try to get to the bottom of why you were so tolerating of this. And what can we do? What lessons can we take out of that situation to prevent it from happening in the future? Whether this person was actually a narcissist or not, minimally, they were toxic as fuck. You know, maybe they had some mental illness. Like, it's all types of things that could be going on here, right? But what can you do to change this situation? And not just having this pity party where it's just all about the narcissist, if the person was actually a narcissist, you know? But it's just so many games going on with this, like the narcissist this, the narcissist that, and it's not enough of empowerment, I feel like, for the survivor or the person who was taking the abuse. Like, it's too much focus on the narcissist and not enough focus on the healing. And if someone says, okay, well, part of my healing is talking about this, for how long and to what extent and in what way, right? Yes, they are violent. They can be. They're violent on some level, shoot. Whether it's physical, psychological, you know, financial, all the ways that a person can be abused. But that's all the more reason why you got to get out that situation. So I would spend more time focusing on the lack of self-love, the lack of self-preservation, the lack of self-care, perhaps, you know, doing the inner work. Like, people aren't focusing enough on that. I think, Yeah, I think it's too much. It's too much. Like I've had survivors even on this channel, and it is like years later, I still haven't gotten over this. I still haven't gotten on that. I'm like, something's wrong with this picture. If it's taking you this, and I understand things can be devastating, but if it's put a halt to your life for that long, we really need to reevaluate what's being focused on here, what's really being worked on here, and are you truly ready to heal and move forward? Because if you are dealing with a narcissist, they move forward. Whether they're doing the same thing to someone else, they're still moving forward. They're moving on to someone else. And then meanwhile, there are people who are just habitually stuck in victim mode. And the trauma is just free. And it may not be the trauma, it may be something else, that's actually causing them to not be able to progress and move on. Yeah, like I started out being a little bit softer on this channel, but I'm gonna get a little tougher because I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm seeing. And if it gets to a certain point where I've been following you for years and I haven't gotten where I needed to go, then maybe you need to go somewhere else. Maybe the help that I'm ready to give you, or maybe the way that I'm relaying this to you is not working for you. Or you're just not ready, and that's fine. Then don't come back until you're ready then. What's the point in taking in all this information if you're not really ready? You know? If you're not really ready. Like, don't tell me you've been on my channel for all these years and you are still just as stuck almost as day one. You're getting more educated, you're learning things, but it's not in a way where it's actually healing you. It's not in a way that where you can apply it to your healing and move forward, then no. No. And I'm not talking to the people that have clearly benefited from this channel. They have clearly night and day in a better position, which is the majority. But I just know there are people that come and say, oh, I'm like, nah. It's been like 4 years now or more. Like, I got to really calculate that. Might be going on 5 years at this point. Mm-mm. But yeah, there's definitely an overuse. And I just think we just want to be able to diagnose. We want to be able to label something. But part of the healing process isn't being so intricate with things necessarily, not when it comes to the things that are external. I mean, all you really needed to know is that that person was not good for you. They were abusing you. They were, derailing you. They were a blessing blocker. They were whatever it was. Whatever it was. That's what you really need to know. Now, if you feel like, okay, it was a narcissist, okay, fine. But are we going to go OCD on this? Like, how much of your energy and life source is it going to need for you to research this inside and out? And we need to put that focus on ourselves, because I really do feel like it's like a manic thing that can happen. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't, because then you're stuck there. You're stuck in that part where you're trying to learn everything about narcissists. And trust me, I know there are even toxic people. Every time they end a relationship, it's because I was with a narcissist. Is it? Maybe. Yeah, we can be in situations where we attract narcissistic people, or, a narcissist could be a moth to a flame. But in order for you to be in that energy, in order for you to attract that energy, what energy would you have to be in? What energy haven't you fixed within yourself? All right. And I'm not sitting here saying that people who have done the work cannot attract low vibrational people. That's not true. Because everybody wants something that's shiny. Everybody wants to be what a successful person, whether they deserve it or not. And they will shoot their shot. And narcissists are egotistical enough to at least give it a try. Like, what's the worst that could happen? They could say no. But maybe they won't know their worth. Maybe I will be able to slide in through the cracks. Maybe they will fall for my phony facade. And that doesn't have to be a narcissist. That's just a scam artist, which they are as well. You know? It doesn't always have to take years. That's a lie. That's a lie. It doesn't always have to take years. Everybody's case is situational. It doesn't have to be this long, drawn out process. It really just depends on your level of resistance, your readiness to heal, and how you're absorbing the information and how it's connected in your mind. Your willingness to let go. Yeah. And it's just living in the present, and a part of it really is getting some education, but let the education be full rounded. It can't just be only focused on a narcissist. It can't just be like, I just see these channels, all they do is dog narcissists. Like, okay, fine. I guess people can go there and validate their experience. Like, yeah, that person cheated on me. They're a narcissist. Not necessarily. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. People can do things that are narcissistic without being a narcissist. You know, I just feel like it just really is an overuse. There's an overuse of that word. And I work in the community, and sometimes I get annoyed with that. I'm like, everything is not a narcissist. Everybody is not a narcissist. Are there more crappy people in the world? Yeah. But even when you take on that energy, it's like you're programming yourself to just think so negative all the time, you know? It's not hard to focus on yourself when you want to focus on yourself. Somebody's saying, I hear you, it's hard to focus on yourself when you're in it. Well, yeah, when you're in that toxic situation, but you should be, because you should be uncomfortable, which should be definitely getting your attention to yourself. Why would you be in an abusive situation feeling so uncomfortable? The universe is giving you all these signals and red flags, but yet you're still not going to focus on yourself. There's a detachment there. And that's why we're in those situations, to bring us back to ourselves, because there's a detachment there. The quiet voice, your discernment is getting smaller. Like, you're not listening. You're not hearing it. It should be loud and clear at that point. But there's a detachment. There's a detachment. Mm. Yeah, well, you can't live off of fear. That's not living, really. It's just merely existing, you know, merely existing. But yeah, it's just a lot of shenanigans, you guys, and I'm over that. I'm over it. Like, I get tired of hearing this word all day long. Oh my God. And there's so many new people. They just love to talk about it. Love to talk about it. You guys know how much supply you're giving narcissists? They probably like, these survivors can't go one day without talking about me. Because I've preached on this channel. They like negative and positive. Like, yo, I messed them up so bad that they got to they got to spend a whole lifetime making all these videos and this and that. Like, can't keep my name out their mouth. Like, it only validates, yeah, I got them good. I did a number on them. Now, if all of these videos are actually helping people find healing, but it's just not well-rounded enough. That's why we have like a food pyramid. They say, you know what, put a vegetable, put a protein, put a carb. Like, they talk about better ways to diversify your plate of food. You're just eating the same thing every day. So, yeah. It's annoying, but everybody's not a narcissist. I'm not retiring that word here on my channel, but as you guys see, I don't even use it that much. Like, I really don't. I've shifted this channel more into psychology. But it's annoying. I know me saying this ain't gonna stop it, because people have their egos and people want to be coddled as well, And it's nice to say, well, we talk about the big bad narcissist. We won't have to talk about myself so much. But you need to. You need to do that first and foremost. Address yourself, because they're not changing. If they're really a narcissist, they're not changing. Not for the better. Not for the better. not for the better. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here. But I just had that little rant because it's sickening. It's very sickening. It's very sickening. The groupies in the community that just narcissists who are groupies in this community because they like to take on identities. You know, they run around acting like they were a narcissistic abusive relationship. Meanwhile, behind closed door, they were the narcissist or they were the troublemaker. They were the problem. You know, it's very sick. It's very sick. And then they get coddled. And while they're getting coddled, it allows them to detach from the actual reality of things. All right. And that's the sick thing about it. And, you know, some of these coaches, they will or may or may not know. A lot of times they won't even know they're helping a narcissist get supply by coddling them and telling them that they were right when they were probably wrong. You know, it's sick. It's actually sick, you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. Just, you know, while you're in the community, be careful. Be careful who you associate yourself with, you know. Because here's the thing. God, he has his angels out there, and so does the devil. And there are people who may be even more popular in the narcissistic community, and they're probably narcissists. A narcissist can make a channel and pretend to be an empath or pretend to be a survivor. They could do it, you know? So be careful, and that's why you're not supposed to put your faith in man. You know, I don't tell people to put their faith in me. You know, I'm a vessel. So if something comes out and it triggers you in a positive way, it helps you on your journey, good, good. But you don't put your faith in no man because you just might not know who you are talking to. And even some of the people who want to befriend you and whatnot. Some of these coaches are narcissists. Some people, they may be. And if they're not narcissists, they're just not what they're presenting. Okay? Not what they're presenting. So be mindful about what you believe. You know, we're stopping that gullibleness because that is what got you in a toxic situation to begin with. Whether it was with a real narcissist or not, they were minimally an asshole and they were abusive and whatnot. Right? So just be mindful out here in this community because it's all types of things. Like I'm just sitting back looking at how all of this has progressed through the years and the trends of what's going on nowadays, and I ain't feeling it. I see massive pity parties. I see massive people stuck pointing fingers and not enough of taking accountability. Like, come on, like you guys are making them giving them hard offs. Like it's too much. It's too much. If somebody's your enemy and you want them to know that they devastated you that bad, like it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. And they're getting supply off of that. They're getting supply. Point blank, period. That's the supply. They'll never get over me. They'll never move on from me. They still what? Please. They're cowards. Go watch one of my day one videos on how they're cowards. Giving them too much credit, too much energy, too much when it needs to be focused on the healing and not just talking about the negativity of being in the energy that you got out of. Like, and then that's the other thing. It could be so triggering and it could actually be setting the survivors back by constantly talking about, you know, the traumas. Every time, if you're not healed to a certain level, when you talk about those traumas, you're going to be punching yourself in the face and striking yourself because your body remembers the pain. And until you get far enough out of it, it's just re-triggering. And no wonder people stay stuck in that position. And that's why on my channel, I've always like, okay, we spent enough time talking about the narcissist. I'll say this all the time. Or we spent enough time talking about the toxic person. Or as far as that, let's talk about our own toxicity. Let's talk about what we could take control of. Like, I want to empower you. I don't want you to be stuck, you know, being the victim. I don't want you to be stuck being the victim. And I feel like that's what those channels are doing. Like that's all the videos. I'm like, okay, they suggested this. I'm looking. I'm like, well, what else are they talking about? Oh, more negativity. The narcissist this, the narcissist that, the narcissist. Okay. Like, god damn. Like, what? You cannot. Like, that's a lot of energy to put into that. Whew. And I understand, like, people want to get validation, but we have to learn self-validation. They go there to get validated because they haven't yet learned how to validate themselves. Let's say that as well. And sometimes I guess we gotta crawl before we walk. Maybe you go there, get a little validation, but there's nothing on that channel to talk about self-validating. So it's like, do they ever really learn it? Do they ever really learn it? Or are people just going back there to just hear somebody else talk about the shitty relationship they went? I went in a shitty relationship too. I was in a shitty relationship too. We're both in a shitty relationship. Yeah, they're shitty. Like, it's just a shit fest. Over and over and over. Meanwhile, you're bonding over this, okay? And then what? And then what? And then what? What are the tools? How can we bond over thriving? How can we bond over thriving? Like, it's like, and you're, yeah, people can bond over trauma. People can bond over trauma. Yeah. But I'm gonna get off of here. Nobody. I know I'm too real. I know I'm too real. I've never been willing to be a gimmick. I've never been willing to just have a shock thing. I've never been willing to just be ratchet for views. I'm gonna always stay true to me. That's it. That's it. And real will always recognize real. And that's that. But I'm not going to coddle people. I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear. That's not what happened over here. And I appreciate the people who come behind closed doors. They'll come and like, you know what, just, it might sting, Coach the Kid, but just give it to me. I know you're going to call it like it is. I know you're going to do that much. And I am. And I am. So don't come over here. People come in a live chat saying all of this. I'm going to call you out on where you need to be called out on, because the whole point of my channel is reflection and progression. There's not enough progression going on. There's too much damn reflection. Okay? We got to balance that out. We have to balance that out, you guys. I'm sick. I am sick of the overuse of the word narcissist. I am sick of going to people who's supposed to be helping in the community. All their videos is just having a big ass pity party. That's it. Let's just go. Let's all take our boxes of tissues. It's time for us to go cry over this again. Like, nah. We're not doing that over here. We're not doing that over here. But I have uploaded over 1,000 videos on this channel. A lot of content, you guys. I put a lot of energy into this. And guess what? This channel is not just is not a pity party at all. You're not going to just find content for that. Mostly my content is about uplifting you, helping you to self-reflect so you can progress on your journey. Okay? So God bless you guys. Feel free, go through the previous content. Take what you can to help you. It's timeless information, and they do not teach emotional maturity, because that's really what we have to gain in these situations. Emotional maturity. And if you don't know what that is, I have a video on that too. See, that's what you guys need, fundamentals like that. But I'm going to go ahead on off of here. And it was great, checking in. You never know when I am going to check in. Always, stay subscribed, hit the bell so that you're notified. And if you're new, hello, welcome. Lots of information on here for you guys. Lots of videos. Find the area that you need to learn about or focus in, or whatever you're focusing on in your healing journey at this point. And there's nothing wrong with just hearing other things too. You may not know that you need help in the area until you even hear about it. So Information is power when utilized. I'll just say it like that. You can't just have the information. And that's the thing with them just talking about, oh, I went through this, I went through that. Okay, you went through it. You went through it. Okay, that's the information. Now, how are we going to make that powerful? How are we going to turn that into something that's powerful to you and not enabling you to stay in a place that you need to be progressing from? All right, we have a new year coming into 2023, and let's get into that thriving energy. We're not just a survivor, we need to be thriving. I want you all to be thriving in life and figuring out, why am I not thriving? And if it has to do with me being stuck in this toxic relationship, what is it about that toxic relationship that I'm not getting, that I'm not letting go, resistance in? What is it? What is it that I need to be getting here that I'm not getting? All right, I still offer coaching, you guys. My website has never been down. You know, sometimes I'm updating it, but 9 times out of 10, it's up. LakiaCrawford.com. You can schedule a session with me. Yeah, my info is LakiaCrawford.com, basically. LakiaCrawford, F as in Frank, ORD.com. So I do still have coaching. That's the one consistent thing that I've been doing in the background, you know. But like I said, there's content on here as well. And I have the support groups over on Facebook. If you look under, you're welcome. You're welcome, sweetie. If you look under most of my videos, you'll see links to the support groups on Facebook. You'll see link to the website and all of that good stuff. All right. All right, you guys, take care. And, you know, don't throw no pity parties. You're nobody's victim. All right. You're nobody's victim. All right. All right, you guys, take care until the next time.